So when I got my first tattoo, I was 18, and I just kind of picked something out of the book, kind of generic, but I really didn't know what I wanted to get, but I knew I wanted to get a tattoo. I don't know why I didn't think video game themed, and it was quite some years after till I got my very first video game tattoo, and that's the NES controller right here on my bicep, which I got at a video game convention. What better place to start the journey off? I want to show you guys my video game tattoo themed sleeve and show you guys the progress of this. Maybe you'll be inspired on some of the pieces that I have gotten, and you'll want to get your own video game tattoo. Let's get started.
Russ, what you doing?
So where the current sleeve sits, I usually would get a piece here and there, once a year, adding to it. I knew I wanted a video game sleeve eventually, and I had some video game characters or themes that I wanted to go with. So after getting the NES controller, I did end up getting Mega Man on my arm, and we went with more of a box art style rather than the 8-bit, but he's kind of stepping out of the 8-bit world. My buddy Joe Murphy did that one, and then I did come back and get this Batman with the NES color scheme, so he's in the purple. Again, we went with a little bit of pixel art on it to make it resemble the NES game itself, and I thought it came out pretty awesome. Then there were some little ones here and there. I did get a 1-up tattoo. I got a Super Mario that was part of a toy drive. And all these tattoos I had gotten at Burning Hearts Tattoo, except for my bomb on the back of my arm right here, which I went to New York for my buddy Tom Bowman, and he tattooed me the bomb. And I was very pleased how everything was coming along. But, it was slow going. I kind of wanted to jump the roll on the full tattoo sleeve. So I reached out to my buddy Wes over at Burning Hearts Tattoo in Hamden. I said, let's make an appointment and let's map out an entire sleeve. Let's get this thing outlined. And then this way I could just come back for coloring sessions. So that's where the video picks up right here, getting laid out for the video game sleeve. Now, I had a few franchises that we wanted to put onto the sleeve, and we were checking for sizing and see where we could put everything. I knew I wanted to do some Metroid, I wanted Chrono Trigger, Zelda, I wanted Ninja Gaiden, some Contra. So we were picking little elements from each game. Some of it would end up being filler pieces, other larger pieces. So you could kind of see the outline here we put down. We got Jason on there, we got Link with a nice Triforce, went with a huge Metroid and the Samus logo right there. I thought that filled it out nicely. Little Ninja Gaiden piece in the back of the elbow, and we got Chrono as well. So those were the main pieces, and we started with the outline, getting this all down. And I definitely sat, I think it was about 6.5 hours to get the full outline that we did that session. Definitely worth it. So Wes was hammering through on Chrono Trigger. Chrono was coming along great. Then we moved on to Link. And some of the lines that he had to do, he did very light lines because he knew he was going to come back and color it, but he wanted to make sure he didn't have to lay his stencil again over the arm so he wouldn't lose his place. Moving on to Jason, I know I wanted the NES color scheme, but I wanted the realism. I didn't want him to be an 8-bit. So Wes actually took the action figure and kind of drew off of that. So the outline of Jason was basically a bust version of the character itself. I knew he was going to be in the purple, and I got a lot of purple going on with Batman and Mega Man already in that area, so we're definitely going to have to break it up with the background, which will pop it out for sure. Do some woods or something like that we were discussing. And then moving to the back of my arm, we were doing the Ninja Gaiden piece. This is from one of the cutscenes in the NES game, and it's definitely one that people can look at and know that's Ninja Gaiden for sure. And Ninja Gaiden is definitely one of those fun, hard NES games. When you say NES hard, you definitely can put Ninja Gaiden on that list for sure. So here's most of the outline done, kind of the lower half of my arm. We got Jason all outlined, the Ninja Gaiden piece as well, and Link, of course. Chrono on the bottom, and again, he used a watered down black, almost a gray, to put some markings so he knew where to do the shading later on, so he wouldn't have to lay his stencil down. That's why some of the lines here are a little bit lighter. Now we're moving on to the Metroid theme of the tattoo. We got Samus's S logo, and then we're going to be doing the Metroid kind of over my chest area. And this part of the tattooing was certainly more painful than the other. I'm just trying to keep it together right here and bear through the pain. This is probably the worst one here. Now, Wes did do a full Mario tattoo on the other side of my chest, and that was extremely painful, and I think that took 4 or 5 hours. So I can only imagine what this Metroid is going to feel like when we get to the coloring stage, but I got through the line work, and it still looks pretty awesome. He added a little bit of red in there because the Metroid is kind of see-through, so it'll be interesting to see how that comes together down the road once we add color to it. But the outline came out awesome, and I think the placement is really great right here. It kind of mirrors a little bit of what I have, again, with the Mario on the left side there, and we'll probably be adding some type of space to the background of this so it pops with those nice bright colors. Now, you did have time to outline and color the spread shot from Contra, a fantastic power-up. And here it is, healed after probably about a week or so, me showing off what we got done in that first session. All the outline work, and we got the spread shot and the Ninja Gaiden face colored in on that session as well. Now, coming back, I did do some filler work where we added some rupees. You could see the Mario Star coin right there. So he added those in one quick session. I did not get any video footage of that. But this is the third session right here. We're doing Link. We're adding the color to him. And he certainly was a long piece because of a lot of color adding to it. Different greens and his boots with the brown and his hair as well. Kind of looks like a mess when everything's getting wiped away there, but I can assure you it comes together great. Doing the gold was kind of interesting as well on the shield, so he added a little bit of orange in there, tinting the inks as he went. And then once we got him outlined and everything, we wanted something to pop for the background, and Wes was suggesting something possibly he had inspiration from Wind Waker, almost like these cloud things. So he wanted to sketch that on me with a special pen. This way he can go over it with the ink. So you'll see that later on. But we had to put the Triforce in first and right at the crease of my arm. Definitely not the most pleasing place to get tattooed, but we're going to end up coloring it in as well. And I was a little bit worried about the healing with it because you're always bending your arm, so you really have to make sure you keep it moisturized and clean and everything. And I did a pretty good job with the healing process of the tattoo here. So you can see it fully finished right there with the color. He looks awesome, just adding a little bit of shading. And now he's breaking out that pen and adding in these little like wave wind marks. We're kind of going to come back in with some blue to really make it pop and then leave some skin tone as well. Looks a little wild right there, but he has a plan and he's coming in for action. Just mixing up a little bit of blues right there. And I think this will pop and break up the colors because I have a lot of purples. And the bright green there will pop nicely off of the blue. So here it is, finished and healed up, probably about a week again. And it pops so great. Love the blue right there. It just kind of like he's coming out of like this mist. Link looking awesome for sure. Love the way it came out. And I never really see anyone get this Link tattoo, you know, this version of Link. Usually it's Ocarina of Time or maybe Link to the Past. So this was in the manual of the NES, and I think it came out awesome. So I was going to head to the fourth session. My buddy David Apuzzo actually came down and was taking some photos of Wes when I got there, and we hopped into the shop and started coloring. I was hoping to get some Jason and Chrono Trigger done that day. So again, we're using the figure as reference for all the coloring here. Lots of purples, different shades of purples. This way it doesn't all meld together and get those shadows down right. You know, something with the NES Jason I just thought stood out a little bit more and was unique. And I like that pop of color having it on my arm. Grew up playing the game and I grew up watching the movies as well. And, you know, it's been a big phenomenon now with NES Jason and the color scene. I've seen lots of stuff come out as for merchandise. NECA did have the figure release, but now there's pop vinyls and t-shirts galore that you can get of NES color scheme Jason. So I had to go with that to match my Batman NES color scheme. This way it fits still with the video game themed arm, since he was on NES as a video game. And we're coming in with that teal mask. He didn't go too heavily on the teal, almost added a bunch of shading on it to get that realism of it, because again, we're not doing the pixel art, we're going with the action figure. So he did a little bit here and there. It's not quite as bright as it looks, but I think it came together well. And then to make him pop off the background, we went with a green outline. I suggested maybe getting some type of woods in the background, because Jason is in the woods, and that would fit also with Chrono Trigger, Link, and Ninja Gaiden all have scenes with them in the woods. I think the green would work great.
I'm just gonna keep going with this green, kind of bringing off his hair up into
Gotcha.
Jason.
Now he was running out of time and wasn't going to be able to color in Chrono, but he wanted to get the green around Chrono in this session. This way it all flows the same. So he was just kind of blasting that green around my arm and finishing it up. So here's how the arm where it currently sits right now. We got Link tattooed in. I just got Jason filled in with a little bit of background, and we're gonna have to go back for Chrono to get his coloring as well. And then some of the bigger pieces up on the shoulder. We still have the Metroid right here and the Samus logo, which I am definitely not looking forward to getting tattooed over here because the outline was killer. So I'm definitely saving the Metroid right here for last. It looks pretty cool as an outline, so we'll see when we get that fully outlined. And again, we got little filler pieces with some of the rupees that we had put on here, so that can be a quick session as well. But it's coming along, and I love the bright colors of how Link with the blue background, and then you got Jason with that green popping, and we're going to end up doing some type of forest as well, because I said it goes well with all the characters surrounding there with Jason, Ninja Gaiden, and Chrono, because they all have scenes with them being in the woods. So overall, pretty happy. Again, I've been going to Wes at Burning Hearts Tattoo in Hamden. Definitely suggest checking him out. Does fantastic work, video game related, as you see. But of course, my other tattoos were from Joe Murphy, who used to work at Burning Hearts, and now he has his own shop, Nerdy Visions, as well. I'll leave links in the description for all the tattoo artists in case you want to check them out and give them a follow. And can't wait to update you guys on the future of the video game sleeve. Let me know what you guys would get for a video game tattoo if you have one already, or if you maybe plan on getting one. I'd love to hear the inspiration behind it. All right, that's going to be it for this, guys. As always, I'm RussLyman, and I'll see you next video.